All right, fellas. With the news of the Zelda movie, all that fun shit, you've been given complete creative control. You can take any video game ever made and make it into a movie of your choosing. It can be animated, it can be live action. You get to pick what it is. What are you picking?
I'm picking Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Back to the movie.
Fuck off, Chase.
Yeah, fuck off, Chase. Fuck right off.
You just I couldn't. I was trying to think of the dumbest thing possible to say,
It's
and
pretty
you
dumb.
beat me to it. So
Pretty dumb. Chase is
guess-
picking Street Fighter. Wonderful.
I guess I will be sincere with
Mhm.
my choice and say Mass Effect. Just right. Could
Yeah,
make a
they
really
could-
you
they
could make
could
a
make a Mass
really
Effect
really
movie.
good Mass Effect movie.
They could
Yeah.
also make a very bad Mass Effect movie.
They could.
I
I think
they
that
could make a Mass
also.
Effect movie.
I kind of think like animated Mass Effect. I'd be down for that.
They've made some animated Mass Effect stuff before.
Have they?
There was like a graphic novel, and there was like an iPhone game / visual novel.
That's
believe.
not what I meant, Chase.
I know it's not what you meant, but it's
Technically, you're correct.
yeah,
Which is
so
the
that's
best kind of
correct.
correct.
Yes.
I think I'd like to see Knights of the Old Republic. I think that'd be really cool.
I mean, they don't make good Star Wars anymore.
Yeah.
So
if
yeah,
only they would make a Star Wars movie.
yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. I'm choosing that.
Nice.
Actually,
Underrepresented.
I
there's
love
a game.
KOTOR, but I feel like the Star Wars movie fans have gotten
Nah, they haven't
plenty.
gotten that.
Nothing recently, but they've gotten plenty.
The Order 1886, I think, could be a really cool.
Whoa, that came
cool
out
movie.
of left field. That's a good one.
I think that could be a really cool fucking movie.
It's perfect because the game already has the black bars covering up basically a third of the
already
screen.
letterboxed.
Yeah, coming from the guy that plays with black bars vertically on his games, he's upset about those that are horizontal.
Oh, I hate it vertically too, but you got.
No, I think that would be a fun one, especially like the King Arthur elements of that kind of mixed into it. But I don't know if we'll ever get any more of that. But I like it. It's still real to me. Damn it, I had a good time with it.
Destiny movie.
Talk to Paul McCartney. It is episode 351. We have how many episodes before Game of the Year, you two?
Stop it.
How many episodes do we have?
It's like what? It's like 3, right?
We've got this episode.
Next week.
We have a December preview episode. We will do kind of a reaction to the Game Awards, and then we go into a week of Game of the Year stuff for us. So we are close. Especially as Chase called out, we're going to take recording next week off as we traditionally do for Thanksgiving. But we've got some fun stuff tonight to talk to you all about. We're going to get into the video games, Star Ocean. We're going to talk a little bit about Pokemon Stadium. We've got some updates on Risk of Rain and City Skyline. We're going to talk a little bit about the Steam updates to horny video games, the Game Award nominees. We got a lot of fun stuff. So stay tuned for the show. Chase, we haven't done this for a while. I'm going to have you go first this week and telling us what you've been up to.
Oh, what a privilege.
Yeah.
I've talked about both of these games on the show before, so I'll try to keep these relatively quick, but I'll give a Star Ocean Second Story R update. That game continues to be cool. And the more I play it, the more options and mechanics unlock and show themselves.
Hell of a quick look coming.
Yeah, I had a fun time with that quick look.
Yeah, me too.
And I basically tonight before the show, I played from where we ended on that quick look for like another hour.
You still have 3 characters, or you get more yet?
I just only still have 3. Yeah.
Okay.
But just a lot of really cool stuff is opening up where it's getting to the point of not how could I lose, because there are still it happened to me again tonight. That happens in the quick look too. There's just like these mages that instantly fucked me up. But
sure,
I'm starting to get so many buffs and options and extra bonuses going on that I'm like, damn, I'm kind of like a killing machine right now. There's just so many neat effects that are all coming together.
There's no shame in this. I'm just going to ask, are you up in the difficulty based off what you talked about in the quick look?
I'm still on like I think I'm like one under the default.
Okay.
But like it's not
I think that should like, I'm not going to gatekeep difficulty at all.
Yeah, and I'm not here for the. I mean, the fighting stuff is okay, but I'm kind of here for the
Sure.
story stuff and seeing how just
Yeah.
aesthetically gorgeous that game is, which it continues to be.
It's very pretty. It's a very pretty game.
Yeah, so I'm still having a great time with it. I'm going to keep playing.
How many hours would you say you're into?
I was just saying.
Oh,
that.
shit, sorry.
I'm 6 hours and 45 minutes. So I think that game is around 40. So
Mhm.
probably.
How long to beat says it's only about 20 for the main, 29 and a half for main plus sides.
Okay. So that's pretty
Chase
good.
isn't a main.
I wish I hadn't looked at that because
I will say I think it's I think the coolest thing
I know that look.
it's been doing so far is that so I think I talk about it in the quick look. You get your choice between two main characters, and you can be the guy or the girl. And the guy is from space, and I picked the guy, so you kind of see he's from space.
Is his name Mork?
No, his name's Claude.
Oh, it'd be better if it was Mork.
I understand, and the girl's name is not Mindy either.
Damn
Sorry,
it.
it's Raina.
Wow.
So you start in space, you go to this planet, you kind of get hit with this teleporter thing, and you get isekai'd over to this
Mhm.
fantasy world. And then the girl is from the fantasy world. She's got long elfy ears, and she's got healing magic and stuff like that. So you meet her pretty instantly as the guy. And I was like, oh well, what happened if I would have picked the girl? Because she's not from space, so how do they reconcile this story stuff? And it made me think, like, wow, is this game actually really different if you pick the other main character? And the answer, I did look up that one, it's not really. Like, you just don't get the stuff from before, so you don't really see the space stuff. You just find Claude in the
Oh,
forest that
makes
he
sense.
isekais into, and then the game kind of continues from
Hmm,
there. And
easy.
that's kind of cool, but whatever. This last play session I did though, there's a character that I showed also in the quick look, that you get the option of whether you want to bring them into your party or not.
Mhm.
And in my real playthrough, I said yes, and in the quick look, I told her to fuck off.
That was
And
bizarre.
she just does. And other games have done that. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you could tell
Baldur's
KOTOR.
Gate does a
Yeah,
lot of it.
we brought up Knights of the Republic. You could totally say like, oh, I don't want you on my party. I'm not gonna.
You could kill them.
You could. Yeah, I famously, well, not famously. It's famous to me anyway. I did kill that one because I didn't know I was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Uh, and then realized, oh, there's this gap in my party that I guess I'm just never filling. Whoops.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, not great, not great. Um, but there's the next place you go to after that is you find out later is her hometown, and
Hmm,
her father's talking to you, and their village is in trouble, and you got to kill some bandits and save some children. And she speaks up a bunch and has a bunch of lines about how, oh no, we'll take this on, father, and we'll go do this. And they even say like, we have this other swordsman guy, but we kind of want to have somebody that we know and feel good about, and this guy's just like some random sword guy. We'd rather him not be the one who does this for us. And she's like, well, yeah, you know me, so you know what, we could do it. And then you go do it. And I'm thinking, what would happen if I just didn't have her in my party? Would she have gone back to this town
hmm.
without me, and then this kind of would have happened again, and maybe I get her in my party then? And I don't know, and I haven't looked up that. And it's just having those things roll around in my head of like, what are the potential
Sure.
options here? What are the potential risk rewards of taking party members versus not? Maybe the story would have changed drastically. Maybe I wouldn't have even seen this whole mission. Maybe you just would have passed by. um and it's just like a really cool play space of thinking, what could this game be? Now there are people who have played this game. This is not a new video game. This remake is a new video game, but I'm sure there are people who know exactly what happens, and there are guides that can tell you exactly what happens. But as somebody who's coming into this blind, I just think it's really cool to think about what could
Yeah.
have been if I chose a different path. So that's been really cool, and the game continues to just look fucking gorgeous.
Oh
So
yeah.
so definitely check out that quick look, which goes up Thursday, right?
Thursday. Yep, we'll have that up
Yes.
Thursday.
So check that out. It's a really cool game, and I'm having a great time with it.
Hell yeah.
Uh, And then, I've been talking about it for Chasey K Plays, my YouTube channel, but I've been playing through Pokemon Stadium,
Hmm.
the Nintendo 64 game. I'm playing it on the Nintendo Switch Online service, which means that I cannot transfer in any Pokemon. There's no way to do that with the Switch Online version, so all you can do is play with the rental Pokemon that the game gives you.
Hmm.
And so that's the thing I'm doing on Chasey K Plays. It's called Stadium Brats, and I'm playing through all the different cups and the gym
Heard
leader
you're gonna have an
challenge.
asshole on that show.
Two
Hopefully,
assholes.
hopefully
Maybe.
multiple assholes over the course of the season. But yes, the next one should be
A lot of
one of the
ass on that show.
biggest and best assholes I know.
The
Lots of peas.
art for it though, pretty good.
It's really good art. It's really good art.
Pretty
Somebody made
tasty.
a fantastic thumbnail. Um, but also it's reminding me as I play through this that when I played Pokemon Stadium, it was mostly to bring in on the 64. It was mostly to bring in my Pokemon
I mean,
from
that
Game Boy
was
games.
the coolest thing about it, right? Like
That was the selling point.
seeing
Yeah.
my
The game
Pokemon
came
in
with
For
the
sure.
transfer pack.
Yeah.
So it's cool to bring in my Charizard from Pokemon Red and to use its move set. And I would play that game with friends to have like, hey, yes, we could have battled on our Game Boys, but now we get to see our Pokemon in full 3D as we battle. Or we'd play those mini games. Or I'd even just load up my Pokemon Red through the emulator in Pokemon Stadium because you could unlock the Doduo and then the Dodrio mode that lets you go twice or
Damn.
3 times as fast and play the game sped up, and that was such a cool thing. So I feel like I played a lot of Pokemon Stadium and a lot of Pokemon Stadium 2 as well, and didn't really engage with the game with the vanilla experience of the game. So it has been cool to be going through it now and playing it that way.
How
And
many
seeing these
episodes do you think this is
movesets.
gonna end up being for you?
So I think I calculated it out, and there are going to be 10. I think there are 10 cups,
Mhm.
and then the gym leader challenge. So, and so far I've done 2 episodes, and I've gotten through 2 cups. So I some might say it would just take you 11. I feel like it's going to take me more than 11 things, especially as things get more difficult. And so I could see it. I could see it somewhere between, you know, 12 and 20.
Sure.
Somewhere there. I think
Yeah,
that's
seems reasonable.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool,
we'll
man.
see what-
I'm excited to be on the show. I think it's a really cool idea. We're gonna probably record something soon. If you're watching right now, I'm gonna go ahead and link for Chase here. You can follow those links right
Okay.
now live, and then we'll link them again at the end. And that's always in our show notes too. So if you're listening to this, you can follow along with it. There's no real cadence right now for a release, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of put them out as you can.
Yeah.
But subscribe to your
I'd love
page.
to put them out once a week, but I
Yeah.
just don't think, because this one's going to be
Hey, keeping a
show that
schedule
I
for content is stupid. I don't know why anybody would do that.
I mean, I know YouTube when the algorithm wants you to do that, but
Yeah.
you know,
They also want me to
having
look like
guests
an idiot on a thumbnail. I don't do that either.
but yeah, this one where I'm scheduling guests, it's going to be tougher to get somebody each week and make that work.
What if I just sneak
just
a
make that
picture
face.
of you holding a bratwurst?
Sounds great. There are brats in my fridge right now. I could make this happen. The last quick thing I'll say is what I think is really making this interesting as well, other than just using the rental Pokemon, is that I'm not familiar with the Pokemon Stadium rule set, which is
There are no
not
rules.
like some
Straight
of the quirks
thuggin'.
and mechanics. They changed some stuff from Pokemon Red and Blue and
Mhm.
Yellow RBY. Like that has its own mechanical quirks, lots of little glitches and things because that game's held together with duct tape. And I know all of those because I played those games so religiously. So I can think about, okay, this move's going to work this way, or I should never use focus energy because it's glitched out and it actually zeroes out your critical hit rate instead of doubling it like it's supposed to. And then I also remember, okay, Gold and Silver and Pokemon Further On, and how they fixed mechanics as they went. The physical special split and special defense and special attack versus just having a special stat like in Gen 1. And Pokemon Stadium is this weird middle ground of we're still mostly Gen 1 stuff. We're still mostly RBY mechanics, but we've also fixed a couple things. The focus energy thing is fixed. So if you use focus energy, you do get more critical hit rate. If you use hyper beam, it works way differently than hyper beam does in RBY, but also works differently than how it would work in Gen 2. So it's this kind of unique style of 1.5 mechanics of Pokemon, and I think that's really interesting too, to see what's still kind of
Nice.
fucked and what is fixed, and that's been fun to kind of work out too on a puzzly basis. So
Very
I
cool.
think that's going to be a fun show to keep doing, and
Yeah.
teach people a little bit about Pokemon battles, teach myself a little bit about Pokemon battles, and also just to hear how people think about Pokemon, and get a little nostalgic with things. So that's going to be a fun thing to do.
Stadium Brats.
Stadium Brats, and if it's popular and if I have a fun time, Stadium Brats 2 is right there. Where
Electric
I could play
Boogaloo.
Pokemon Stadium 2.
Footlong Brats.
That's for me. I'm kind of waiting on Persona 5 Tactica to come out. I think that's the next new game I'm going to be playing.
Right.
Yep. 16th.
Yeah, that's this week. Yeah. So just kind of playing the stuff I've got right now. Wasteland 3 also still playing,
Cool.
but no real update on that one either.
Nice.
So yeah, good stuff.
Very cool. Well, it's another week, and I've got more credits to talk to you all about.
I believe it.
We've got 2 games done, friends. We beat Everspace 2 and Cocoon, both very good video games. Everspace 2, really loved some of the stuff that you unlock kind of in game on that, and then I got some really awesome legendaries. I got one that I just think is such a cool concept. You've got your actual like pilot health, and I'm sorry, your ship health, and you have a shield that goes across that, and your shields can vary. If my shield depletes, my ship immediately makes 2 clones of itself as distractions.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
So as
That's
soon as your shield pops, and they stay out there as long as it takes for your shield to recover. And so it immediately starts to proc. It's just like when it happens, it looks so cool too. So there's some really neat named legendary stuff that came later in that game. Very cool. It's on Game Pass. You can check that out. Otherwise, it's on Steam. I think it's on PlayStation as well now. And Cocoon was just an incredible 3 to 4 hour weekender. Had such a great time with the puzzles in that, and really loved where that game went. I did not know about the secret ending, but I have watched the secret ending since beating it, and I think it does some cool stuff.
It's like a real secret too. Like some, I
yeah.
feel like I remember people saying like, it's not, we're not talking Fez territory, but like maybe like a step or 2 below Fez, but it's it's right there of complexity.
Yeah, it's very complex. But cool. Like I think the ending of that game is really, really good. And
finish that.
Yeah,
I think games like Cocoon and Jusant, hearing that they're both really short, those are kind of probably be like, hey, it's the last week before Game of the Year. You gotta cram.
You gotta cram.
It's cram school now, and
yeah,
you're
man,
gonna knock out a couple games. I think those are 2 games that are probably gonna fulfill.
It's funny you say that, because I think, like, at this point, I think if you can put a couple hours in with these games to get a taste, it'll help for our conversations.
Sure.
I would say those games are worth seeing credits on for a lot of reasons. Both of them kind of pack some cool stuff there, and they're both, again, 3 to 4 hour. And if you have a means to play them on handheld, I would think Jusant might not be great on the Switch, but I think that Cocoon would be really good there.
Even on the Switch?
I don't know. I doubt it, man. That's an Unreal Engine 5 game.
Yeah,
I would be shocked if it's on that.
I think on our quick look we said it wasn't. I'm gonna check to be sure.
But I've read a lot of people saying that the Steam Deck works great for it. I enjoyed a little bit of it on my Ally, but I played most of that on my big screen because it was just such a beaut.
Yeah. In fact, that's only brand new consoles. I remember us talking about that now. It's PS5 and Xbox Series XS and also Steam PC.
And I fired up a few new things. One, I'll be pretty brief on because I don't have a ton of time in with it, and I also don't know how much I can talk about it. But I did get selected to come in and check out the Yes Your Grace Snowfall beta, and I put some time in with that, and it's really fucking awesome.
Did you play the first one?
Just a tiny bit, a tiny bit.
It was on sale on Switch for like $2 at one point, and I grabbed it because that game has a really cool look to it.
Yeah,
but I've
so
yet
it only enhances on this one. So it's a really cool 8-bit 2D. On the first one, your characters and everything is still pixelated, but it's almost like the Star Ocean. So like your whole castle is like this really cool kind of glowy, almost tilt shifted, like 3-dimensional world now with these pixelated characters in it. It's gorgeous how they've done it. And they've really tightened up the UI in a way that I think makes a lot more sense. But the shenanigans in the writing is still just absolutely sharp. If you're unfamiliar with what we're talking about here, this is put out by Brave at Night. They do not have a release date for the sequel, but as Chase mentioned, Yes, Your Grace is out. There's also another game that they put out. What was it? The one that you and I really thought was something special. The weird WarioWare-esque mind game. You're like hacking people's minds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember what you.
It was a Game Pass game for a minute, I think. Anyway,
I'm looking them up.
On the tip of my tongue.
Mind Scanner.
I think that Brave at Night is involved in that game.
They are. They were the developer.
But this is awesome. Like you're still managing your castle, and there's this impending doom coming towards it. You've got 3 meters that you're measuring. One is discontent in you as a leader. The other is looming threat, and then the other one is happiness. You can turn happiness in for currency and supplies. So if you are able to take on more tasks, as you're doing that, you can buy items that will help get your critical success of doing a task up. So you can fail a task. You also have limited amount of health or HP in the people that work for you that you assign to the task. So one might be more of a general that's better for, hey, they want to fight, or we got this. If you use them, they're going to get a little bit of a boost. And then if you have something that's more medicinal, you can use a witch. And there's just other things that you can unlock in it. I think this game is something that both of you will really gravitate towards when it comes out. It seems like your shit big time.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
like
for
the first one.
for those kind of unfamiliar with what this is, imagine if you remember Reigns, that
Yes.
mobile phone game.
Love that game.
That was kind of like you get to choose these, you kind of swipe left or swipe right on your options that you want. Very simple, but it kind of had those same kind of meters going on. And then on the other side, you've got Civ.
Yes.
Which is like, oh god, that's so many fucking meters. There's so much shit going on. And
Absolutely.
Yes, Your Grace is like, what if you're like, if Reigns is 0% and Civ's 100%, this is like 20%, maybe 15%, maybe. It's still pretty simplified in the grand scheme of things, but it's not as simple as just like the swiping phone game of Reigns. But it still has a lot of that vibe, and I think that's kind of a sweet spot for somebody like me who loves strategy but doesn't
Doesn't
I'm
want
not
that much
Johnny.
strategy.
Yeah, I'm not Johnny. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be playing Civ. What's the other one you play?
Crusader Kings.
Yes, Crusader Kings. There you go. Like that, Crusader
Coward.
Kings is like 120%. And I'm like, I don't want
Coward.
that. That's too much. That's too much. But Yes, Your Grace, I think is something.
It's a
that's
sweet
right
spot.
in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Chase, you should look up the Steam page for this one and see the graphics on it. It's really fucking impressive how they're doing this one. I mean, I had to go back and look at the first one. I was like, holy shit, this is an overhaul on how they've done it.
I think I remember seeing trailers for this and going, oh, I need to grab that first game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good looking.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. Some cool lighting stuff. I would imagine that this is going to be a 2024 game. It's a pretty competent beta. I'll also call out it plays really well, and they extended the play test on it for a little bit longer. But that was through a sign up on their website, so it might become a demo or something if there's a Next Fest in the future. The other game I've played, not a ton of, but has been an interesting thing for me to go to is Risk of Rain Returns. And this game just came out on the 8th. You can pick it up right now for $15. It's on sale for 15% off on Steam. This is the original developer, correct, Chase? But it's also published now by Gearbox. Is that correct?
I believe.
Is it Hopu Games? Is that
Hopo? Yeah.
Yeah, that's them, right?
Yeah.
So I learned about Risk of Rain through Chase. I learned about Risk of Rain when Risk of Rain 2 had a trailer. And I remember watching the trailer because Chase was pretty excited about it. And then I was like, oh, I'll just download Risk of Rain on my Switch. and I was like, oh, this doesn't look like the game that I just saw.
Right.
But they've brought some stuff over to it. Their words, not mine. Carefully designed, beautifully remastered, and loaded with new ways to play. Risk of Rain is back and better than ever. Dive into iconic roguelike, full of unique loot combinations, enhanced with new survivors, overhauled multiplayer, and fan favorite content from Risk of Rain 2. So I think it plays really well. I like the 2D look on it. I think that's been cool. I think this is going to probably be blasphemous, but I think I like 2 better so far.
I think, yeah, I'm in a weird spot with that because when 2 first came out, I enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
I had some big problems with the navigation around there, and being in a 3D space, it was just harder to find the portals to get from place to place. And I think eventually they did add some extra things in there, some more particle effects around the portal to make
Yeah.
it easier to find, which did add a lot. And now I've played so much Risk of Rain 2 that anytime I try to go back to Risk of Rain 1, it's weird. It's like I still love this game, but I think I kind of have been Risk of Rain 2 pilled now. Like
Yeah.
that's the game I like more. Even though there was a time where I vehemently disagreed with myself on that, and thought Risk of Rain 1 was the true.
I need to
best
put more
one.
time in with it because there are some things there. It
They're
looks
just both
gorgeous.
so different.
But
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's. And I respect both of those games. Whereas you have something like Spelunky 2 come out, and I'm not saying Spelunky 2 is a bad game, but it wasn't what I wanted, and
it's
it
more
was also
Spelunky,
basically
right?
the same game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I respect Hopu for like building a brand new kind of game for their sequel.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool thing, instead of what was like Rogue Legacy 2 also. It's like we just made the game again, but
Yeah.
tweaked a couple things. We didn't think of the whole new shit.
Man, that soundtrack from that
soundtrack's still really fucking good.
Just some phenomenal prog rock.
So it is mostly just the original game, but they have done a handful of things. I know there's a new character, the pilot, that has been added here.
The multiplayer thing seems to be what most people are excited about from what I've been reading.
Sure.
Because that's been, I mean, we've played a lot of Risk of Rain on Casual Mondays. It's been really easy to hop in and do that. I did not know that was an issue with the first one, but I don't know if there's going to be crossplay. I doubt it because they don't have it on 2. And honestly, man, like this is probably fine on the Switch. I think it's on the Switch. I might be wrong.
Yeah, it is.
It's on everything, I'm pretty sure. I would check this out sometime on co-op. Like I think this is harder than Risk of Rain 2, and I think Risk of Rain 2 is hard. But
well, I own it now, so we can do that.
Okay.
So
cool.
So Bobby, you do own the original Risk of Rain?
Mm-hmm. I think I have the original one on the Switch. I'm pretty sure that's what I was playing my indies on back then.
I would love to give you a little homework here and have you play a little bit of the original and then play Returns and just kind of tell me if you're actually noticing a difference.
Yeah.
Because that's been my point. I love Risk of Rain 1, but I own Risk of Rain 1. Is there a reason I need to buy Risk of Rain 1 again?
I mean, I don't think it's
coat of paint on it.
I don't think it's overly expensive, but
no, it's not. But
I think from a preservation standpoint, this is probably going to be the one that keeps going. So that could be something also. Like I don't know. Like I'm checking if I have it on my Switch right now. And I'll definitely report back to you. I'll let you know like what that looks like. But yeah, man.
If I could save myself $30 and not buy a game I already own and love, that'd be fine.
Is it 30? I don't think it's 30.
It's like 25, right?
No, I mean no, it's $15. It's on sale right now too for $12.74 on here.
Yeah, okay, 15. But,
Risk of Rain. It's that's Risk of Rain 2 is 35. I don't see it's actually 15% off on the Switch right now too, Chase. It's $12.74 there also.
Yeah, 15% everywhere.
Okay, I thought that I had Risk of Rain. Maybe I don't have that one on the Switch, but I have it on my PC for sure. So I'll check out the original one there as well.
Yeah, I think just having that side-by-side comparison it would be very interesting because it is.
I know where I played it. It was my PlayStation. I played it on PS4. That's where I played it.
So you don't have that anymore.
I have, unless I can download on the 5. So anyway,
Oh, you
those
should be able to. Yeah.
Risk of Rain returns, and Yes Your Grace Snowfall beta, both really cool in their own right. I think we'll talk about Yes Your Grace in the future when you all get to check it out, because it definitely seems like your shit. So
And that
Johnny,
game has a
Yeah.
to be announced on Steam right now. No actual release.
not
date
that I've
either.
seen anything on it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Not even just saying 2024. It's just saying like we'll tell you. We'll
Yeah,
let you
we'll
know.
let you know
Coming soon.
eventually.
Um,
What have you been doing, Johnny?
well, I've been playing a lot of the same stuff that I've been talking about forever. So your Alan Wakes, your Spider-Mans, your Baldur's Gates.
Rank those in order
yeah.
of completion importance.
What's your rank in Street Fighter now? You like
Gold
platinum?
is I got to gold 3 with Zangief last week.
Cool.
And you never picked up Mortal Kombat, right?
I almost did tonight. So I got home from work and I was like, fuck, I don't have anything new to talk about on the podcast. I've just been playing the same stuff. So I was looking at Game Pass.
Johnny, I know I'm one to
Look at my
talk,
Steam
but
library.
maybe you should stop buying video games and start playing video games.
Chase, good news. I didn't buy. Well, I bought Risk of Rain now during the show, but that's beside the point.
We saw you looking at Star Ocean over there.
His eyes did.
You're not a lion, my friend.
You were lying with those eyes.
So I was like, let's maybe check out Spirit Tea. And when I thought I was clicking Spirit Tea, I was actually clicking Sea of Stars.
Oh no, I've fallen over. Oh no, I've fallen over again.
I played like 15 minutes of Sea of Stars. I didn't see the title screen. I was like, this does not seem like the right game.
You know what?
At all.
I would play that one over Spirit Tea. That game fucking rules.
I don't know much about Spirit Tea other than I think it has a really cool type treatment on the logo with the gate.
So I played like 5 minutes of that and I was like, I don't need one of these in my life right now. I'm sure it's a very fine game, but it's just like, oh, it's doing a Stardew like thing. I'm not here for that right now.
Yeah, you said I want something a little bit more busted.
That's right. So would you like to know how many times I have downloaded
yes.
installed
He does Skylines not want to have a life sim. He just wants to build a city.
Yeah. So I have downloaded and installed this game 3 times now. This was the first time I actually played it because I kept saying I'm just gonna wait till they patch it. I heard it's rough technically.
So did they patch it? Is it good now?
So I didn't encounter any big technical issues. However,
does it deserve to be in the Game Awards now?
Well,
which it is.
Okay, I didn't realize it got nominated.
In like best sim strategy.
Oh, okay. I can't tell you because I've only played it for like an hour or so. But I will say there are some big quality of life improvements that got me very excited. Nice. Did either of you ever play the first game?
No.
I own it, but I have not played it.
Okay.
It's on the wheel.
It is on the wheel.
one of my least
I wasn't going to say it, but Bobby baited me into it.
We knew it was, Jace. You didn't have to say anything. So one of my least favorite things about the first game is when you put roads down, you'd also have to like put the water lines underneath and line it up, and it was so tedious. Now, when you put roads down, it has water and sewer. Just
whenever you're laying the water and sewer, do you say to yourself, now roads? Or I'm going, I don't need roads.
I thought you were gonna make a joke about laying pipe.
I also
this is a family show.
Hang on a second. Hang on.
Since when has this been a family show?
Hang on.
Yeah. The only time this show's been a family show is when your son shows up on the show.
Yeah, when your son frees the nipple on our show. Johnny.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Hey, whenever you're playing this game, now that you don't have to have a road, do you think about laying pipe?
Anyway,
I don't know.
They've made. As I was playing, it's been.
I don't think we're gonna hear that one on hard drive.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
So as I was playing, it's like okay, a lot of this feels different, right? But it's also been probably over a year or two since I played the first game.
I'm
And
gonna
I know
look that up
they
when that first one came out. I think that's been what, 4 or 5 years now.
oh,
More
but it's
Longer?
been longer than that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they added a ton of DLC and expansions to it. So a lot of this stuff, I was like, I wonder if this was added later, like on the expansions that I missed. And some of it was like there's seasons now, which they didn't have before.
2015. We didn't even
Yep.
know each other then.
Yeah.
8 years, buddy.
Yep.
Damn.
Life
There's
comes at you
there
fast.
there
believe
are
is what they say.
there are map themes which affect the architecture.
You say themes or thieves?
Themes.
Themes.
So you have North American and European, which will affect, like I said, the architecture, the style of buildings that.
Well, because
that
the
are in
cars are on the
city.
opposite side of the road. Yes.
There you go. Good. Yeah.
Um,
Where we're going.
We're
Cars
going.
on
We're
the
gonna
other
lay
side
some
of the
pipe.
Another thing that I really like is they have completely overhauled the progression system. So now you can pick and choose certain buildings that you want to unlock, rather than having it be like, in a specific set order. You can say, well, I really want to have this type of building, and
Sure.
you earn tokens to spend as you hit milestones and other achievements in the game.
How's it
Oh,
look?
man,
Does it look pretty?
It's gorgeous.
This is just
Yeah.
sounding like Sim City on the Super Nintendo. Do you want the amusement park or do you want the regular park?
Yeah.
Those-
Yep.
I got to choose this back on the Super Nintendo. What? Come on, this isn't an innovation. When I laid down roads in the Super Nintendo, I didn't have to lay down the water and the sewer either. So
He just laid
quality of
pipe.
life, quality of life on the Super Nintendo.
They made upgrading the roads so much easier.
Man, he's really
that was
on these roads, aren't he? Isn't he?
Dude, that's a big part of it because you're managing the flow of traffic and like figuring out how you want your city to be laid out.
Sure.
Yeah.
They have a grid option, which I don't remember there being before. So you can like start a road and then pull it out, and it'll just
like it can snap.
It'll just
That's
make
nice.
a grid for you. And it's a lot. There's way more than I could ever hope.
Do you think that this is a game that you would benefit from waiting? Because it's early access, right?
No,
Or it's out for PC.
Yeah, it's out.
Okay.
I mean, the devs have said like, yeah, they basically admitted like we probably.
I guess why I was going to ask
it has
it.
to be out if the Game Awards nominated.
I think this isn't going to be I just needed something new to talk about, and I love the first game.
Sure.
So I was going to play it eventually anyway. And I gotta say, like, I'm very happy with like what I experienced in the hour or so that I played with it. I'll have to I don't know if the more technical issues show up once you add more stuff to your city. You can also the map is 5 times larger, like the area that you can build in, and you can even so it's all tile based, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the first game, you could only get tiles that were adjacent to ones that you owned already. But in this one, you can buy them separately. So if you want to have a little town away from the main part of the city, you can set that up. And there's industries that you can set up.
Yeah, you can silo off all your pollution into one spot.
That's what I always do. Here's the industrial zone.
Can I? So
SimCity for this nest too,
at this point in time, it's what? Let me pull up a calendar here. We're a week and some change, maybe 2 weeks away from SteamWorld Build. Do you think that you would be more compelled to spend some time in that game or this one?
Those feel like two. I know they're both about building towns and cities, but they feel like they have very different aims.
Yeah. I think I'm probably more excited for Build just because I really loved that demo that they put out, but this is much more, granular, and it's not set in a Steam fantasy world.
I have a hot take on that one. I think that's going to end up being a Netflix game.
SteamWorld Build?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. It might.
I could see that. That does sound like something Netflix would do.
They brought back special buildings. I think that was the thing. And the first one I unlocked was a Rockstar mansion. And
wake me up when it's a Rockstar cafe.
I had this island that was off off the coast of the main property, so I put the mansion over there. So it's some prime real estate.
Rock and roll.
I don't know. I love those games. They're so fun.
Sure.
And like I find them relaxing, even if they can get stressful. Yeah. So
That's
City Skylines 2
City Skylines 2.
all right.
Awesome.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the news?
Let's move
gentlemen?
to the news.
So 2 of the 3 of us here have Steam Decks. Well, I guess no. Bobby doesn't have a Steam Deck anymore.
I traded
One
that
of us
shit.
has a Steam Deck that we play.
One of us cares about PC gaming over here.
Yeah.
Well,
so
2 of
Valve,
you have Steam Decks. You're right.
So the Steam Deck
One
came
gets
out
a little bit more use than the other.
Yeah. Last summer. And a few days, was it earlier this week or late last week?
I think it was late last week.
It was late last week.
Yeah.
They just kind of dropped this news on us that they're putting out a Steam Deck OLED, which is a little bit, I don't know what the right word is here, but like it is, from what I've seen from places like Gamers Nexus and places that do more like hardware breakdowns, like they changed a lot about this, even if like the specs themselves, like the power is the same.
I was hearing some people say like the case is the coolest new feature.
The case is if you get, so I think
the
that you
transparent one.
Well, are you talking about the enclosure or the carrying case? Because both are really cool.
I don't know. Somebody just said the case.
So there's a 1 terabyte limited edition one that they've got coming out, and it's got the same carrying case that you can get today. It looks that way, but inside of it is a removable case if you don't want the bulk. This is like a form fit mold of the Steam Deck, so you can just pull that out and have like a really nice layer on it if you want to throw it in your backpack and not have like its own independent case.
Sure.
But the limited edition one, the thumbsticks are orange now, and then the case is actually, it looks a lot like the Nintendo Pro Controller transparent material. So it's kind of got like that slight see-through now for all of it. Mm-hmm. But it's a terabyte also, and I think it's $679.
$649.
The that's for the standard, not the collectors.
Sorry, my mistake.
How dare you?
This is very much like what Nintendo did with, I mean, I think they've done more behind the scenes, but the OLED, like for the most part, this is the same Steam Deck. For the most part, it's the same Switch.
New joysticks, like there's lots of upgrades to this, and they did say the technology doesn't exist yet for what a Steam Deck 2 would be. So I don't know. It was just, I didn't see this coming.
No.
At least not so soon after the first one came out. And I actually have some friends that just bought theirs like within the last 2 months.
I mean, Bobby, you've had a Steam Deck. You have your ROG Ally now that you really like. Does seeing this from Valve spark anything for you?
I mean, I love OLED screens. I think that they make a really big difference, and I get excited about this because I like the Steam Deck a whole lot. Like, I did not leave the Steam Deck because it was a bad device. I got the ROG Ally because it is, in my opinion, the true bridge for, like, I can put the Epic Game Store on that. I can put Xbox Game Pass natively on it. It's a miniature PC. And I still, while this is OLED, it's like the Switch. It's not 1080p. Like, I can do up to 120 frames a second at 1080p on my Ally. Like, it's a very powerful device. It's also, I didn't mind the size of the Steam Deck, but I think the Ally feels a lot more of, I've had a Switch.
It's much closer to a Switch than a Steam Deck is, for sure. That thing is hefty.
Yeah, this is cool. There's also the Legion Go now, and the Legion Go actually is the biggest and heaviest of all these, but it comes apart like a Switch, and it does one of those things where it turns the handle. It has a magnetic bottom that you can put on it, and it becomes a vertical mouse that looks like a gun handle. So you can set this thing up in a tabletop mode and have them. It's wild, but there's like 3 competitors in that realm. I think the Steam Deck.
Excuse me. There's the PlayStation Portal. That's also
That's not a
you
PC.
know, it's hey man. Just because it doesn't play video games well or functions as its own
I love the bit.
console
I love the bit.
or has Bluetooth doesn't make it not a competitor.
God, that's good.
God,
I think
shit.
it is a piece
Can't
of
believe
shit.
they did that.
But the Steam Deck, in my opinion, if you are remotely curious about PC gaming and you do not want a desktop or anything like that, Steam Deck is a good ecosystem. It's very much going to keep you where you need to go. The Ally
I would say
is
it's like really user friendly in that way. Like having Steam, being able to just go to those things and find the games that you want. It's a pretty easy process. Whereas, like Bobby's saying, the Ally, like that's a PC. You're gonna have to kind of treat it like a PC, but you are going to get more functionality out of it because it is so open.
They are doing something cool. They didn't make a big production about this whenever they talked. It was out the same day as this thing. Valve is going to ship Steam OS out. So the interface that you have on a Steam Deck, in theory, I could partition the hard drive on my Ally and have it boot into that and just have Windows be on the back end, kind of like what they do with Linux. That's a whole other podcast in itself. But I think this thing looks really cool.
And the Steam Deck can kind of do that in reverse. Like you can you can put get Windows on a machine and turn it into more of a PC.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can dual boot it or just have it running Windows.
It's a very good looking piece of hardware.
Yeah, totally.
But none of us are going to buy that, right?
No.
No.
I'll be waiting till the second one comes out before I make a decision like that.
All right, well, that's enough Valve talk. What's our next topic?
The Game Awards announced.
I was setting you up to say the next Valve thing.
Oh,
your next news story was also about
right.
Valve.
I'm sorry, Chase. I just completely fumbled that.
Okay.
Hey guys, you ever have a game
it was hidden.
that? Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You ever have a game that you wish your friends didn't know you were playing?
Yes, Horny Hitler 4. Would not like to have that show up in my Steam library at all.
The fourth one. I think the series peaked at number 2.
The other 3 don't quite. They're not quite up. I mean, I've had this like where I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about a mystery game on the casual hour. I don't want Bobby and Johnny to know about what I'm playing, so
yes,
maybe I'm going to put my
game.
Switch into
this is
airplane mode or something while I play this.
This is for when offline mode isn't enough of a guarantee.
Isn't enough. Yeah, you need to stay online.
Yes.
You can't get off the grid, but you still
want
to. This is for all the smut
gaming.
You really want to play Busty.
This is when you want to lay pipes in City Skyline. You need to hide some shit. Here too
is that Valve apparently is going to start letting you hide games that are in your library.
Yeah. Valve, here's your hard drive post. Valve somehow finds an under the cushion spot for your Steam library. Yeah, Mom, don't make my bed or lift a mattress up. There's not a Sable Playboy from WCW underneath there.
Yeah.
Do not look at that.
Yeah, so all your horniest games that you've been putting off playing, you can finally...
Yeah, your horniest, but I think there can also be just, sometimes you just want to play a game and you don't want to get shit for it.
Super Robot Wars. Yes, that's where I keep mine. Hidden.
Sure.
That's honestly, that's more shameful than any of these.
I know.
Someday, but if Bobby sees that I'm playing Idle Manager, then it's all over for me. So I've got to.
Goddamn right.
I've got to hide that. I got to hide.
Chase, I thought you said you're playing Idle Manager. Why are you playing City Skyline Pipeline right now? He's already dead.
Oh man.
The one-handed DLC.
Whoa.
All right.
How about those Game Awards, huh?
Game Awards. So we're not going to talk about every single thing here.
Yeah, Bobby and I actually touched on some of these categories on Monday just because the news was hot. But yeah.
Did you talk about how funny and absurd it is that Dave the Diver got nominated for Best Indie
I think we talked about that, and we spent a little bit of time talking about the community aspect of some of these nominations and maybe like looking at the whole year versus recent events on things.
Yeah, like the two controversies were Dave the Diver and the Destiny nomination.
Well, not a controversy for me, but I do think that there is people out there making a bit of a fit about the lack of Starfield.
Sure. I mean,
Well-
Starfield's nominated for a couple things, isn't it?
Best RPG.
One.
Best RPG? Just
One.
one? Just the one? Okay.
Yep.
It probably
Yep.
won't win that category either.
No, it won't.
Nope, not at all.
Not even close.
I don't know.
The one
I
thing
mean,
that we didn't talk about, Chase, that did come out today that I sent both of you is that this is going to be the first Game Awards that you could be a part of via Fortnite.
God.
Should
4
we do
years
it?
in the making, apparently.
No, I'm not downloading Fortnite to watch the Game Awards. That's two things I don't want to do, and
It's
I'm sure as
already
shit not going to do them together.
All right,
One
hear me out.
giant advertisement.
I'm going to find a way to play Fortnite on my Meta Quest 3 and go into my Meta Quest 3 to go into the Game
Smart.
Awards. Look out,
I
Jeff
think
Jeff
I
Peely.
see-
I'm coming for you.
I see no issues here. Like, nothing could go wrong.
Are there anything that surprised you all? Like, I'd rather go over that than like break down the categories. Is there anything good or bad that surprised you?
Just honestly, I was like, despite my own feelings about Starfield, given that it's a new Bethesda game, I did expect it to have more categories that it was in, and because of how well it reviewed at the time of release. But I think it seems
Where's
like
Redfall?
I know that
on.
this is going to be an easy answer. I am a little surprised, but not surprised at all, that there is nothing mentioned in any category for Hogwarts Legacy, considering that's the like biggest sold game this year. Certainly from an RPG standpoint, I know why it's not there. Like, I know the answer, but I'm still a little surprised given how just huge that game was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not. The Game Awards don't seem like they give a shit about
When it comes like
about
political,
yeah,
or not even
like,
political, just like conversations.
I mean, I don't feel like they would have a. I think it's more because you have enough critics who vote on who gets the nominations, and a lot of those critics have those issues with Hogwarts. It's less that the Game Awards as a whole has a problem with
Yeah.
Hogwarts. And yeah, because of the controversy stuff, because of JK, it just ends up you have a lot of people pushing it away. And I know I get to be in the privileged position of I just don't care to begin with, so I continue not to have to care, and that works out great for me. But for the people who like that game, and for the people who develop that game and put their hearts and souls into it, and the people who love playing that game and think it should be represented, I get that it's a bummer.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was also it's going to come across harsh than I mean. I'm surprised Spider-Man's up for Game of the Year.
I understand all the ones that are there for Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Don't understand RE4 being there.
I do find them all
But Dead Space up there.
obvious.
Yeah, RE4 is another one.
I guess I just feel like the Game Awards in general is pretty obvious, and that's what happens when you have an aggregate of a bunch of critics coming together to nominate these things, and then the even more aggregated general vote from everyone. It leads to a very homogenous style of system, and it comes out with boring choices. They might not be the wrong choices, but they're just kind of boring, and that's fine. It's just I'm not going to see something nominated on the Game Awards and go, oh, I totally missed that this year. I need to go check that out. Whereas,
what we need is a Game Awards for sickos. That's what we need.
Oh, if only there was such a thing. But like even go back 10 years or whatever, and thinking about like the Giant Bomb Game of the Year stuff that they did, and seeing all the individual lists from the different people that they would bring in, and seeing, oh, what's like this person's number 9, and going, I've never heard of that game before. That's a cool thing. I need to go check that out. Where if you just take everybody's number 1s, you're gonna come out with a lot of the same shit. And yeah, it's whatever. That's why I like what we do. We've got
Yeah.
3 relatively different voices here, and I think we get to play in some different spaces, but we can come together to get like a relative quorum on
For
what
sure.
we like for the year, and we get to and I also just the fun categories is where we get to have a little bit more
Yeah.
representation from smaller, weirder games. But then, we also have some years where Fights in Tight Spaces says, "I'm your number 1 pick, motherfucker."
I'm your
because
Huckleberry.
I'm the best goddamn game. Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm the game of the year now.
Suck on
So
that, Keely.
Keely's going to be live on December 7th. We are going to record this show that you're listening to immediately following the Game Awards on Thursday, the 7th of December. And then we will get into our category episode that Chase is alluding to, where we will have an entire week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the 11th, 13th, and 15th to go into our categories and our top 10. Johnny, awesome job.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting that pulled together.
No problem.
We haven't had a chance to do this in a while for you, Johnny, because you typically don't do anything besides hang out with us. But you've got some stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about it at all, like that you're doing. Do you want to mention anything there?
Sure. Yeah, I as you know, I love to write. That is something I'm very passionate about. And over the weekend, I saw one of the editors from Hard Drive post a pitch form saying, "Hey, fill this out, submit it. If we like your pitch, we'll add you to the freelance pool." I filled it out. Sunday night, I got an email saying, "Hey, welcome." So I joined the Slack, and one of the headlines I pitched yesterday got picked up, and I
Nice,
wrote an
man.
article for it. And
Very cool.
I'm waiting for the editor to get back to me, but that should be published soon.
Well,
Be
We might get to
my
see you in
first-
internet print.
yeah, be the first thing I'm ever paid to write, and I'm
well,
very excited.
I'll pay you to
Hey.
shut the fuck up.
I get paid to write every day.
I know you do,
My
Chase.
writing is for garbage and is garbage. So congratulations on doing something a little bit better than that.
We'll make sure to tweet out for Johnny whenever he gets that link.
Yeah.
We'll send that out for sure. But yeah, Johnny, awesome job. Really excited for you. Really cool stuff going on there. Looking forward to hearing more about it. And maybe I can twist your arm to popping the seal on our never used Medium account. Maybe sometime I can convince you to write a little something for us there.
Sure.
But Chase, you also talked about some really cool stuff that you do. I'm going to link to you again really quick. Do you want to give a brief update on that?
Yeah, we talked about Stadium Brats. That's me playing through Pokemon Stadium, recording that on YouTube. I have a new episode that's going out on Thursday, I believe. That's episode 2. And then Bobby and I believe, are scheduled to record episode 3 sometime this weekend. So look for that probably next week. And then also, now that the Writers Guild strike and the SAG strike are over, question mark?
Over.
I guess the
Over.
SAG is. I guess they're still like talking to the SAG members about whether they're ratifying it or not. But the strike part of it is over. Pilot program can come back. Podcast where our good friend of the show, Pierce Corshane, and I talk about the first episode of every television show ever made, and we've been on hiatus for a while these strikes have been going on. So now that that's over, we can start the show again. Pierce has some stuff going on, so we're probably going to start recording stuff at the beginning of December. So look forward to that. That'll be exciting.
Awesome. And we've had a fun week. Chase and I went back to Prize Fighters on Monday. We had episode 351 go up
second
to
medal.
got a second medal, baby.
Yeah, looking good.
We talked about Star Ocean and we briefly mentioned Jusant. Both of those quick looks go up this week. And then Friday night, we are probably going to play Dark Tide. There is a new Darling on Twitch that seems to be something we might check out soon. But right now it's Dark Tide. And if for whatever reason we have to go down to duos on Friday, we'll do RoboQuest. But a lot of fun stuff. You can follow along with all that there on our channel. It's in our show notes as well. Thanks, you two. And we will be live again on Friday night.